Hello guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Atharv Vishwas Gupta, and now we will be performing the U part of our CRUD project. So let's get started. Till now we have performed the create and the read part, and it's time for the uh, update part. So now let me just explain and show you how it will work. So we have created our application till here right now, and when we click on these links, you see something this appears over here. So when we click on this edit link, what will happen is a form here will appear with this data. So if for example I click this edit button, right, then a form will appear with the name. In the name text field there will be this value. In the class text field there will be this value, and in the admission number field there will be this value. And when we click on the edit button below, it will update our data, and then it would also show uh, the updated data here, and that too without reloading. Let's get started. First of all, I'll open my PHP brackets outside the table, not inside the table, outside the table. And now, as I said, that we will display the data in the form when we click on this edit link. So now what we are using here is the get method. Earlier we were using the post method in this form, like when the data will be posted straight into our database, but now we will use the get method. So what the difference is, the post method is a more secure way to transfer our data, and the get method displays the data here. So for example, you see. So now what we will do is we open our if statement, and inside like we did it earlier, we'll say if is set. But now in these brackets, earlier we put in post dollar underscore post, but now we will put in dollar underscore get. And now in here we put in this submit. So the action thing was submit here, but now in this part, the what will be put in, because the method is not post, we will put in this value. Okay, so I'll say this. So it says that if it is there is a get a request method, if get is set as the method, and the action thing is edit, then what will it do? So for example, I'll just echo it works, right? Let's see what happens. I'll just reload it. Yeah, so it works. Now what we want it to do is we want it to display all our data in a form, and then we can edit that form accordingly. So first of all, what we are required to get the data from our database. So you must remember how to write this query. So for this is for updating our data, dollar query underscore update. But this is not the part where we update it. This is the part where we get all the data from the database. So I'll say dollar update underscore query update get, and in here I will put in select all from, or I'll just copy this, the same statement, but I'll add another keyword known as where. So in here we selected all our data from the database irrespective of any condition, but now we are specifying the data which it has to select. So now I am saying is that where the value of this ID in this table is what. So we can put in 1, or we can put in 2, or anything, but we don't want that to happen. We want what we want is it selects the data of this, like when the edit of this is clicked, the ID of the record clicked is 2, so it selects that 2 only. So how can we do that? Is it's really easy. I'll just copy this and store it in a variable. I'll call it edit. I have to remove this bracket and put a semicolon, and I'll copy this and put it in here. So now what it will do is it will select all the data of let me just show you once again. Like when we click this edit button of the record, which ID is, whose ID is 1, so it will select all this data, not this data, but it will select this data. And similarly, if we click this edit which is the one for the ID of 2, then it will select only this data, not this data. So I hope that you must have understood. And I will put in another final query. So I do this to make my code a lot neater. I'll just copy this because it's the same. I need to replace this variable only. I'll just replace this variable with this variable. Okay, so now this part is also done, and now it will it has selected all the data from the database. But what about getting the data? So it has selected the data, it has not got the data. Our application has not got the data, only the data the data in the database has got selected. So how can we get the data and then implement whatever we want to do? We will use a while loop here, and in here I'll say dollar row is equal to mysqli underscore fetch underscore associative array. So this is the short form for associative array, and now in here I will supply this argument that what data does it have to fetch in an associative array. That data is specified in these queries. And when I say then after what, so now it will select all our data. So for example, I'll say dollar name, and now I'll say dollar row square brackets, and inside square brackets we need to put in the column ID. So it is name for the name one, and similarly I'll say class and admission. So what we can do is I can copy this and paste it over here, and I'll replace this name with the class and the name with the admission. Okay, so all our data is now selected, and what comes next is we add our form, but we cannot directly add our form within the PHP brackets, so we have to close this. But what about this while loop and this if statement? We'll see that later. I'll show you how it works. Okay, so now it will give us a parse error, but we will fix that later. And now let's just copy this form. Nothing will change, just this just a little bit of changes. So instead of name submit, I'll say name update, and I'll say update student. So this would be half the part done, and the remaining half is we put in the value. So now earlier what we were doing is that there was no value. The by default our input text field would be blank, but now by default there will be the name in our text field, and that is very easy. I'll just say echo and dollar this, the dollar name. and I'll close this with a semicolon. I can just copy this part, or but actually I will need to add the value attribute which I forgot to add. Okay, and now this would be stored, the PHP will be stored in here, and I'll just copy this value attribute and put it in here and in here, and I'll replace this with dollar class and admission. Dollar admission. Right, so let's see how it actually looks like. Okay, so we need to handle this error. Oh, okay, let's just see it later, or actually let's do it right now. Now this should be it. What about now? This now. Okay, so now I'll click on student 2 and disappear. And what if I don't? What if I go to the read.php and now click it? So you see, this was the magic. And now what we'll do is we will update. We will update this part. We are displaying the data, and the final part is updating it. So for that, we will write the query in a similar manner, like in here. So what we can actually do is we can just copy this whole part. Okay, so this should be it. And instead of dollar underscore submit, we say dollar underscore not sub, dollar underscore submit, only submit, and we'll put in here update, and this will stay same. Okay, but this query will change. This query will 100% change, and I'll just call it query underscore update, or let's call it edit, and I'll put the same in here. And we don't require this insert statement. Okay, we will say update our table name, which is students, and now we will say set. So first of all, using the update students, is tell it that we want to update the students table, and now we'll put in the values which it has to give in. Set the values. So first of all, our column name will be is name. Our column name here is called as name, right? So name is equal to this one, this variable. I'll just put it like this for more neatness. Okay, and what we can do the similar thing, name. Now the class and admission also. I'll call this I'll put this class variable in here, and the similar thing again, admission is equal to yes, so the admission is equal to this admin variable. Okay, and now I'll say where. So if we don't put in the where keyword, um, we can get a error, or not exactly an error, a bug that. So it will disorient all our database. It will add the data or update the data in any record, for any record. So for example, when we click this edit button and we edit this data, we would want this data to get edited, but if we don't put in the where statement, this data can also get edited, so we don't want that, right? So I'll say where id column is value is equal to, again, the dollar edit, the variable which we created over here, and this should be all our work done. Okay, so this is done, and I don't think we have to do anything else. Let's just see how it actually looks. So you see it all automatically gets closed, and now we won't have any errors. I've reloaded this, and instead of Atharv Vishwas Gupta, I'll shorten it and change it to Atharv, and you see it got reloaded automatically, and it also updated our data. So how did it actually get reloaded? The magic over here is done by header. It says that, like, whenever we click on the update button, it performs this query, but then it also actually reloads our page. If we don't put in this statement, we can actually get a blank page. Let me show you. I'll edit the student too, and I'll call the student. Okay, and when I click update, we need to reload this page to get the changes. Okay, so we change this student to student, right? So let's see. Yeah, so but we had to reload this that page, and if we put in this back, the header, and then edit a record, we won't need to do this. I'll change this to fifth, and you see it got updated automatically, but in the database we will have to uh, reloaded, but that's not a concern, because for displaying the data, it has become our database. So actually this was it for today, and in the next video I will show you how to delete the data, which will be a short video. And if you found this video helpful, like and share this video, subscribe to this channel, and consider buying me some books on buy me a coffee. The link is in the description below. So bye for now.